Hello, everybody. I know it's definitely been a while. Sorry if I also sound a little icky right now. I got back from my trip out in Miami not too long ago and got sick not too long after. So, still trying to recover a little bit from that, unfortunately. So, and again, I swear, it's like the moment I try to edit something for my own channel, it takes forever. It's like, and it's for a freaking update video. It's like, been trying to like get that done and all that. Um, but while I was away, there was another Nintendo Direct. It was an hour long this time. Definitely a lot that was shown. Probably not going to get to cover everything just because, it was a little difficult for me to kind of keep track of it all, especially now since I'm still a little sick. Um, and what they ended up doing was instead of having a separate direct for Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary, um, they uh, they decided to combine it with their usual direct, which all in all is a pretty smart move, all things considered. Um, Probably worked out for the best because the stuff they announced for the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers was kind of underwhelming. Overall, I should say. There was stuff that I did really like, but there was also other stuff that didn't really impress me all that much. So the stuff that I did like, we're getting another Super Mario movie with Illumination, and it did really work pretty well the first time. It's straight up gonna be a Super Mario Galaxy movie, promptly titled the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Which, yeah, I figured, yeah, if we're going for like anything that lends itself to a cinematic experience, Galaxy is definitely the way to go. And I guess in a way to kind of celebrate that and cross promote that, Nintendo is deciding to release basically the Galaxy games, both 1 and 2, as sort of a combo package, which would normally be all well and good, but people kind of noticed that it's like, hey, why wasn't Super Mario Galaxy 2 just part of the 3D collection and that you had 5 years ago, and because now you're just suddenly re-releasing Galaxy 1 again and just adding 2 this time. So yeah, and charging $70 for it. So, and they're also coming. They are also coming with their own amiibo too. So you're basically capitalizing on like a lot of the double dipping there, and well, I could be certainly guilty of that. I'm not gonna. Of course, they keep doing it because it works. It keeps working on me. But yeah, not exactly, especially for a big milestone like the 40th anniversary. It's just like, they also took the time to announce that Super Mario Wonder was getting the Nintendo Switch 2 version treatment with additional content. That it's like, I'm not sure why this, couldn't make its way into the original game on the Switch, I guess. Looks neat, but so yeah, that's kind of weird. They gave us an opportunity to see the next Mario Tennis game, which is going to be focused on, I guess customizing, your character with like different rackets and stuff, as well as a story mode where everyone is like transformed into babies and have to relearn their tennis skills or something. So, okay, that's nice, I guess. I think the best announcement to come out of that, aside from the movie, was there's a new Yoshi game coming out. That is like that has this like very nice storybook aesthetic to it, which is pretty cool. It's something I'd be looking forward to getting into if I had a Switch 2, because I think that's a Switch 2 only game. Uh, they also announced that you could get like the talking flowers as like a nice little set piece for your desk that just speak randomly to you, and it's like that's a nice novelty, but it's probably not something that I would be interested in owning for myself, especially because I think I would just startle easily from them just randomly spouting something. Plus, I have no room for stuff like that. At least as of now. So yeah. Okay. And then I think we got into the direct proper. Cause yeah, they were doing like, they were prioritizing, stuff that's initially just coming out for Switch 1, and then they did their mix of, okay, these are the games coming out for the Switch 1 and Switch 2, and these are games coming out just for the Switch 2. So, which is a good way of going about it, especially since this is the first like major direct since the Switch 2's release. They did kind of set. They did kind of set kind of the format with like their partner showcases and stuff like that. But now we get to see it proper in the Nintendo Direct. Okay, they did start off with a couple of games that kind of flew over my head a little bit. So yeah, I can't necessarily recall them all that well, unfortunately. And there were some other nice, like, quick announcements and stuff, like, I think we got a release date for the first part of the Final Fantasy VII remake, the Intergrade one, coming to Switch 2. And Persona 3 Reload's getting a demo for the Switch 2 as well. Still no word on when the additional content for Persona 3 Reload is coming to Switch 2. I imagine that's coming down the road, but kind of like the Super Mario Galaxy 2 situation, it's 1 and 2 situations, like gonna try to get those double dippers. Guilty. So let's see, not really interested in the Tomodachi Life, but that's getting a release window for those that are interested in it, which is nice. Let's see. Hold on, I'll be back in just a moment. I have to break for just a moment. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate side effect of, you know, uh, kind of just need to use the restroom more and stuff, especially, when you're covering sick, you gotta try to hydrate and, make sure, everything goes through your system and all. Okay. So I think, yeah, Tomodachi Life is kind of where I left off. Um, so yeah, we got a release window for that. And, let's see. I'm trying to think, because again, I'm kind of going all over the place. Let's see. Quite a few third-party games are going to be getting a next-gen update, going from Switch 1 to Switch 2, which is pretty cool. Let's see. I think one of the most out there announcements in the Direct was that, of all things, the Virtual Boy is going to get its own slot in the Nintendo Switch Online Classics release for both Switch 1 and Switch 2. And apparently it's still going to do the stereoscopic 3D thing, so if you want to use it, you have to get an additional peripheral. Like, there's like a cardboard one you could get for like, what, $30 and like $100 to get like your own plastic Virtual Boy that you can insert your Switch 1 or Switch 2 in, and it's just like, man, no thanks. Because, yeah, it's like, all to play 14 games that are available for it? No. I mean, in a way, it's kind of funny. And there's going to be plenty of content that are going to do it just to try it, but I'm just going to be like, yeah, no. It's like, I would have much rather seen something else get the Nintendo Switch Online treatment. Heck, there are plenty of current existing libraries that still need more games, So yeah, it's just like, like, it's good for a laugh, but that, that's about it as far as the Virtual Boy goes. It's like, okay. Alright, so let's see. We got more information regarding Kirby Air Riders. It's gonna get its own amiibo, and it's coming out with a rather unique amiibo where it comes with a rider and a machine, and you can actually swap the riders between machines. And because of that, they're going to be a little bit more pricier, but amiibos have kind of risen in price lately anyway, unfortunately. As we kind of noticed, unfortunately, they don't start at like $13 anymore, sadly. And that's even before like all the scalping shenanigans. So yeah. We got some more news about Metroid Prime 4, which looked pretty cool. Samus is going to be traveling in an open world on a bike. And everything, it looks pretty cool. We also finally got a release date, December 4th of this year. Yay! I have a feeling they're holding off for Direct for that game specifically, which I'll definitely be looking forward to. Kirby Air Riders is also going to be getting another Direct at some point too, so that'll be something to look forward to. Let's see. Pokemon has gotten some more news. They're getting like kind of an Animal Crossing like game. Called Pokopia, I guess, where you kind of play as a Diddle that's transforming into kind of a human-like character to kind of help creating kind of like your own Pokemon paradise sort of deal, which is nice and stuff. Not really into the kind of like the Animal Crossing like sort of games, but interesting for the people that are. We got more information about Pokemon ZA. You know, the Gen 6 starters are going to get their own Mega Evolutions, which they look cool, but it does seem like you have to go a little bit out of your way to get them, which is like, really, guys? There's also apparently going to be paid DLC that's going to feature Hoopa as well as Mega Raichu X and Y, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Also in the realm of paid DLC, Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting paid DLC as well, which is interesting because Mario Odyssey never really got that. But, you know, cool to see Donkey Kong Bonanza getting some additional love here and there. Let's see. Resident Evil 9's coming to Switch 2. As well as 7 and 8. Which is nice, you know. Interestingly enough, another release that has kind of flew under the radar because it wasn't part of the Direct is Mega Man Star Force. That collection's going to be coming out soon to Switch 1 and 2. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I think Hades 2 is coming out for Switch 1 and 2 with the Switch 2 upgrade. Yeah, Hades 2, which is pretty cool. Still haven't gotten a chance to try that out yet. Let's see. Kind of racking my brain a little bit. Because there was a lot to go over. I mean, there was also kind of like a nice demo reel of stuff as well. Oh yeah, Dragon Quest is getting one of their games re-released, 7, I believe. It's kind of like a remaster, reimagining of sorts, which is pretty cool. You know, Dragon Quest has been doing pretty well with like finding ways to re-release some of their older games, because I know they're doing the HD 2D remakes of their first 3 games as well. Something that certain other franchises I wish could follow suit. Let's see, I'm trying to also think what else. What else got announced? I mean, I know what it ended on. Let's see. I guess I could go straight to what it ended on. So the last announcement was a new Fire Emblem game, and it seems to be kind of done in a similar style of Three Houses. I know people are a little concerned that when Fire Emblem follows up on a style that did well, the follow-up doesn't tend to do as well. Like, it's kind of split. Like, for as well as Awakening did, Fates was a mixed bag. So people are kind of hoping that the upcoming Fire Emblem, which I think is called Fortune's Weave, doesn't end up in the same boat where it's trying to do too much of the same thing as Three Houses did. And apparently, because yeah, like, there are certain elements of Three Houses that will be returning, including a returning character. So that will definitely be very interesting. Unfortunately, it's only Switch 2, so I can't really play it right away. But I do hope good things come from it, especially when I do eventually, hopefully, acquire a Switch 2. Because at least with certain games like Pokemon Legends ZA and Metroid Prime 4, I can get those right away, because those are available on Switch 1. Yeah. But all in all, the Direct was okay. You know, I figured, especially since it's the first Direct coming off of the first major Direct coming off of the Switch 2 and all of the following announcements and stuff. You know, it wasn't going to be as hyped, which is perfectly fine. Not every direct has to have like all these wow moments. And it definitely had a good chunk of, interesting stuff, good chunk of weirdness, some baffling stuff here and there, and there was also some baffling stuff, surrounding, the announcements and stuff too. Especially because, it's given everything that's been going on with Pokemon lately, especially with the very controversial trademark that Nintendo made recently in response to Palworld. It kind of dampens the excitement a little bit. I'll still get Pokemon ZA, of course. But, I can see why it's very hard for people to get excited at this point, which is totally understandable. Not to mention, games are getting more expensive, amiibos getting more expensive, Again, it's the announcements are nice, but it's coming at a time where it's very hard for people to get excited. And I totally get that, I think the only thing that nearly got me out of my proverbial seat was the Metroid Prime 4 announcement. But that's only because I've been waiting for that game for like 8 years. Well, everyone's been waiting for that game for like 8 years. So, but yeah. Yeah, surprisingly, no update or DLC regarding Mario Kart World, despite it being the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. You'd think they would do something in Mario Kart World for that, but not. At least not yet, anyway. So yeah, that is another thing that's a little perplexing, I would say. But yeah. And hopefully I'm coming through okay, because again, I'm recovering from a cold, so voice is a little shot at the moment as, my immune system is trying to do its thing, and I'm also on the iPad using my AirPods and stuff, so but yeah, I mean, there's also a bunch of other stuff outside of the Direct that I wish I could that I could mention. There was also a few interesting, like, one-off games and stuff that are pretty random that I can't necessarily recall off the top of my head. Trying to think. I feel like I know there's some stuff that I'm like missing here and there, but yeah, overall it was all right, but yeah, and, I was still in Miami, watching this on like my phone and stuff, so it's like, I had to like occasionally like try to pay attention because I was waiting on my group to like decide to do something, so I had to like constantly like look at my screen but also pay attention to make sure that if I had to be ready for something, I had to be ready for something. So even when I was watching it, my attention was kind of divided and stuff. Oh yeah, I think there was like a new like Monster Hunter Stories that was like that showed more information, I believe. But yeah, it's just man, there was just a lot of stuff that I feel like it was great, but ultimately there wasn't a lot that stuck with me. And some of the stuff that stuck with me didn't really stick for the right reasons. So yeah, it was one of those where it's like it was alright, but nothing too spectacular outside of a couple of things. which was a shame. But also at the same time, I feel like, especially coming from summer to fall and then to the holidays, there's at least enough stuff to look forward to, and just maybe even get people enough time to even get a Switch 2 or something like that. So we'll see. But yeah, and as more of these directs come in, it'll be like a state of play situation where it's like there's only so much I could talk about it, because it's like, I'll pretty much be saying, well, I wish I had a Switch too. Just like, oh, well, I wish I had a PS5. Wish I had a Steam Deck. Wish I had a new gaming laptop or something along those lines. But it is what it is. So hopefully the latest Nintendo Direct will have an announcement that, that has you excited, maybe even has you laughing, like the Virtual Boy announcement, which, yeah, that was pretty weird. Something to look forward to. Hopefully more good than bad from your own perspective. But with all of that said, hopefully as soon as I get better, I'll try to get back to as much of a schedule as I can. Again, I'm trying to get that update video done to explain my situation. Otherwise, if it takes too long, I may as well just do another live video like this. Cause man, yeah, there's just so much stuff that I've been doing lately. And it's like it's kind of hard to keep up with stuff at sometimes. But with all that said, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful day. Make sure to take care of yourself, especially with flu season around the corner. A lot of people are also probably going back to school, whether it be grade school, middle school, high school, or college, or people coming back from their vacations and going back to work or something, fall season, be here before you know it. So, with all that said, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful day, and take care.